Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ethan Wiseman, and I lead product management for distribution at Hospitality Solutions. So we used to be with Sabre. Now we are on our own as Hospitality Solutions. So I'll get that out of the way. Now, one thing I want to call out today before I get into an amazing topic on AI, how we see this kind of playing out over the next few years is I just wanted to recognize our team more broadly. This morning, we cut over all of Hyatt on the Synexus CRS onto all three main GDSs with zero issues and completely successfully did that. And so I just want to recognize this team publicly. They did a whole bunch of work, amazing work from the Hyatt team and from the Synexus team to be able to cut over such a large, important enterprise customer with a seamless transition. So thank you very much. So what I want to speak about today is honestly what I believe is the most impactful thing that has happened for distribution in the hospitality space, full stop. If you go back just, 10 years ago, you can kind of think about like, how did you consume TV? How did you consume content? Remember, you used to turn on a DVR, DirecTV used to have you subscribe to something, you paid extra to be able to have the thing you want, kind of when you wanted it, but it wasn't always personalized to you. Now we have streaming. Content is specific. It's relevant to me. If it takes too long for me to be able to find that content, I quickly get turned off and I kind of get disinterested. It's because our expectations have drastically increased as to what we expect our technology solutions to provide to us as guests, as consumers of this content. And so what I want to speak with you about today is how is the booking journey evolving? How is AI influencing guests? And how are their expectations rising over time as this technology is playing out? Now, this is a pretty crazy statistic. 60% of guests have no clue where they want to stay, what they want to do when they start planning a trip. Just think about that for a moment. 60% have no clue what they want to do. Now, who fills that void right now? OTAs fill that void for the time being. The reason why they do that is because they've done actually a phenomenal job of being able to solve this problem of aggregating content and helping a guest feel like they're being able to get something more personalized or solve this specific problem. The reason for this is because the booking journey has not changed. Over all these years, our direct booking channels have stayed pretty stagnant. Nothing phenomenally has changed in this space. I'll give you a recent example that I had. I took my family on a trip to Canada. Phenomenal, beautiful, 5-star resort. It was literally a bucket list type of trip, right? It's remote. I needed to be able to book different experiences and I needed to book the restaurants in advance, all these different things. I got an email from the concierge saying, if you would like to book an experience or do something around our property, please send us an email. So what I did was I loaded up Copilot and I actually used Copilot to be able to help me build out a schedule of all the different things I was going to do. But it wasn't bookable in Copilot. There was nothing that allowed me to complete it. So I had to send an email back to a 5-star property that was absolutely beautiful. They just completed a renovation. All the right hard product things were taken care of. But then I'm sending emails. And then they send me back an email saying, hey, we've confirmed you for all the restaurants on property, but here's a link that you can go and you can make all the bookings for those experiences you wanted to partake in. Well, at $1,800 a night, I think that's pretty crazy, right? That I have to go and search out and solve this problem myself. Today, guests expect simplicity. They don't expect to turn around and just book a room. They don't expect to have you prescribe to them what that booking channel or booking funnel should look like. I should be able to consume what I want, when I want. And that's at every single stage of the journey. I don't expect to consume it only when I'm making the initial booking. I want to be able to change the path in which I'm going to consume this content to be able to purchase, change my plans, be able to understand what is relevant to me in the moment when I feel like it. It's at the edge of my fingertips. Gen AI is going to absolutely change everything that we're doing. It's becoming my trusted advisor. And so I pose this kind of question to you. If everything that I do in my day to day, from work, from planning out my personal life, is going to be processed through an AI agent, why wouldn't I utilize that same AI agent to book my journey and my trip? I do believe that these agents are going to be our future when it comes to doing that. I'm not going to swap apps. From a user experience, I'm going to plan out my finances, understand how much I have available to go on said trip, and then I'm going to say, how can I best allocate that relative to all of the things that you know about me and all of the things that I enjoy doing with my family? 70% of people are open to using personal AI to book their entire trip. That's pretty profound. And so as we think about how we bring content into AI, we need to then step back and say, okay, who are the main players that are going to play in this space? And I truly believe that hoteliers have an amazing opportunity to bring content direct to the consumer with each one of these players. Now, do I think that there are other players in the ecosystem that have phenomenal capabilities and merits already? And you would have seen recent market announcements by major OTAs and players that have entered into this space. And I think that's great. We're all better for it. I do believe, though, that these AI players, in my discussions directly with them, are completely overwhelmed right now. The reality is they're trying to decide, how do I get content for selling or recommending a pair of jeans relative to selling a room, relative to selling an experience? So right now they're looking for complete aggregation of content. There's a second wave that needs to come after that of how do I get as direct as possible to that content, get that content directly from the source of truth, the distribution source of truth. Personalization isn't a luxury anymore. It's a baseline. And like I said before, the key thing is we have to craft these experiences to the unique person. That means that you have to be able to have the offers and the products on the shelf to be able to curate that unique experience for each individual. We want convenience and personalization at all stages of the journey, not just the initial thought of I'm going to go on a trip. So how can we do this? How can we make it better in our day-to-day? First one is adopting AI tools that deepen our guest interactions. And we'll cover this in a second. And then expand on how do I ensure that I'm properly curating the experience and being able to allow my guest to consume those curated experiences easily and confidently. So if we look at the way we do things today in the direct distribution space, hotels are still getting emails, they're getting queries to their website, people don't understand things. And one of the unique pieces that people do not understand is that most of these AI platforms, while they're talking about great things like MCP data models, in my conversations with them, most of the AI players are still trying to figure out how they're going to properly consume MCP at scale. So SEO content that sits out there today is what's feeding your guests and telling your guests what is relevant to them. That's pretty scary, because if you have an erroneous TripAdvisor or other player kind of out there where someone's just said something about breakfast starts at 6:30, but it really starts at 7 o'clock, and a whole bunch of guests start showing up at 6:30, but the first thing that came up was that erroneous recommendation, your guests are now frustrated and disappointed. So ensuring that you have a clear source of truth and that your AI agents are able to respond is extremely important. In today's day and age, I truly believe, and you would have possibly heard Scott Strickland and I speaking about this morning, when your initial request comes in from someone or calling you, it's not going to be a human being taking that request. It's going to be an AI agent. We have to be able to understand and curate that information for that AI agent to provision that out to the guest. So you don't want that AI agent picking up that erroneous conversation. You want to have information that is curated for them, that is relevant to your brand, so that agent is picking that up. This all builds on something that I think is really important relative to hoteliers being able to scale their business and keep their cost as low as possible, and how technology is helping to be able to drive that for hoteliers. Automate routine tasks, future-proof your hotel, and get your guests, better acquainted in leveraging AI integration. This also allows you to start to understand the questions that your guests are asking about your property so that you can drive hyper-personalization. One of the key things that we have found through leveraging AI and deploying AI solutions out with our hoteliers is that we are finding out more and more about the things that we just never knew that guests are constantly querying, but because it was going off to some other search engine, we had no clue about it. Today, with Synexus, we have that information. 77% of travelers prioritize experiences over cost. And so when we think about that, the thing that hoteliers do phenomenally is curate experiences. Like, you're absolutely amazing at it. You build phenomenal properties, your hard product is amazing, your soft product is on point. But if that product is not available, then that's a problem. So if we take a moment and think about this kind of case study, say, for example, I'm going to go down to Cancun for a vacation. There's a whole strip of different properties that we want to stay at. I speak to my AI agent and I say, hey, I'm going to take the kids down here and we're going to go on a family trip. That AI agent goes, hey, did you know that your daughter's basketball tryouts are next month? And by the way, she's trying out for the basketball team and needs to practice. But wait a second, the most relevant property for me to stay at does not have a basketball court for my daughter to practice at. Well, if you put that on the shelf, you may be the property that didn't get the person to stay there, but you got the person to come and consume the asset that you built that is costing you nothing because the capital expense has already been set and made. And now that girl can come, shoot, practice for her training, but I'm still staying at the most relevant property for me. And so my point here is ensure that you're getting all of the goodness and all of the hard work that you do as hoteliers on the shelf. What we found through our work with retailing is that ancillary spend is $266. And that's across an entire spectrum. We operate with over 35,000 distribution hoteliers. So everything from roadside inns all the way up to ultra luxury. We need to truly transform the way that we think about these things. We've always thought about the guest experience. We always think about it, but then our commercial models don't match the way that we think about the guest. It's all disaggregated. AI is going to allow us to be able to truly curate those things in a way that we've never believed before. And so you can see here, if you just think about all the different things you have across your property that you can start to leverage. Some of these are more traditional in nature, right? Some of them are less so traditional. For example, late check-in, early checkout, more traditional. It still costs me a little bit of a manpower thing because I have to deal with staffing issues, that kind of stuff, but I'm still deriving a solid amount of margin from that. Other things though, like my basketball court example, is 100% margin. I didn't have to do anything else for it. I didn't have to have any extra staff for it. 100% to the bottom line. And I'm getting full utilization of the asset which I own and have to maintain. I can also understand now, because I productized that asset, and I'll go into a different one. Think about gyms. If you travel like me, you're like, man, you show up to the hotel and you're like, well, this gym's okay, it's kind of average, but I wish there was some free weights or something like that. In the future, that becomes less so of a thing. I will be able to identify the gym in my area, stay at the hotel that's relevant to me, but the gym at a property that makes sense for me to be able to go to. Now, if you've productized that as a hotelier, now I have an individual SKU that has an individual P&L that it didn't cost me anything extra to set up. And I can start saying, okay, I'm generating this much revenue off of this product that we're selling to other guests in the area because we have the best gym in this area of all the other properties. Now I can make the business case to upgrade this gym to have a really unique, defining product for consumers to buy, regardless of if they're staying with me or not. But I'm probably more likely to win them now because I've made a business case that allows me to have the best gym for travelers in the market that are health conscious. What we found with retailing is the results are absolutely amazing. 90% increase in hotels utilizing Synexus retailing over the last few years. Absolutely amazing, blowing it out of the water. We're expanding all of our capabilities to help consumers to be able to gift, to be able to interact with your brand through gift cards and other vouchers to allow them to consume the property, to be able to say, man, this was an amazing experience. I want to give this experience to somebody else. You're making that guest journey as personal as possible. And the average order across these gift vouchers, $613. The thing that people don't understand is that gift cards are deeply personal. Like, think about the moment that you give a gift card to someone. It's usually around Christmas time. It's an anniversary. It's someone's, they're getting ready to retire from their job or something like that. You're trying to commemorate something with someone. So most of the time, you don't really go cheap. And the more prominent players that will actually utilize these gift cards are corporates that are wanting to say, hey, I want to treat you to a phenomenal experience. Here's a gift card. And so this total spend and capture is amazing. And it delivers phenomenal value for you to be able to bring guests back. If I had to give you like any final walkaway thoughts, remember that personalization in the AI world is going to be essential for what you do. The products and the SKUs that you put on the shelf are going to define whether or not you capture your fair share. The room is only going to be one place in the grand scheme of how your assets are fully leveraged and utilized. Across all the different types of revenue, these are the types of results we see across each one of the different scales in the industry. So I encourage you, think bigger, think bolder, become a merchandiser, turn your digital channels into an e-commerce platform that truly transforms your guest experiences and brings them as close to you as possible. Thank you very much for your time today.